Now, we just saw Sean Lynch making his big screen debut in the feature film The Ballad of Des and Mo, which was shot, edited and screened in just 72 hours. That's 3 days, for those that aren't very good at maths. To talk further about how they managed to pull off such a monumental feat, we're joined by lead actress Kate O'Toole in the middle here, producer Gary Hoctor on the end, and movie director James Fair. Welcome, guys. Thank you. Now, there's so much that we want to talk about, but let's talk about the movie first, the film. What's the film about?
It's a romantic comedy about Des and Mo, a couple who have come over from Ireland on their second honeymoon, but their luggage doesn't arrive with them. And it's the 3 days whilst they wait to be reunited with their luggage and the sort of farcical odyssey that they undergo in between.
You shot it in 72 hours. How long has the film been in the making?
It's probably been in the making for at least 15 months.
Right.
So quite a long lead-in time, and there's been a small group of people working on it for that time. So we met the director of the Melbourne Festival in Berlin in 2009 in February, and that's kind of kicked off the whole invitation, and we started, I suppose, emails going back and forth then.
What's the attraction to making a film within 72 hours? Why did you do it?
Good question. Well, it means that the invitation to the festival came first. So that means that whatever film we make gets into the festival, and for us as kind of micro-budget filmmakers, it means that we get our films seen by film lovers, and it's notoriety for the film, and it allows us to sell the film afterwards.
I was going to say, Kate, as an actor, how did you find the process, just having to do it all very quickly? You didn't have a lot of...
It was a bit like doing a play.
Right.
That you do the whole thing from start to finish without much of a, break in between scenes. You just keep doing it all the time. But I enjoyed that. I like that.
Exhausted. All of you must be absolutely exhausted.
Have you had any sleep?
Not really. I haven't, no. But all the adrenaline has just been sort of washed out of my system now, so I'm crashing.
Kate, when you first heard about the project, did you think, oh, how ridiculous?
No, I didn't at all.
You didn't?
No, because I really believe in the concept behind it, which is to prove that digital filmmaking actually changes the rules of the game in a big way.
Well, obviously, a feature film usually takes, months, a year or more. What are some of the advantages in forcing yourself to do it in that 72 hours? James, maybe you can
I think the attraction really for shooting differently is just that, it's exhausting it's exhausting on money, it's exhausting on time when you're taking so long to make something. I think, cutting down the period between the concept and the completion is just in everybody's interest.
It is, yeah.
And really, the only reason why we're not doing it at that speed is just because a lot of the mechanisms and structures that we've created around filmmaking, and that if we rethought some of that, I think the point at which we start and the point at which we're watching it would be a great deal smaller.
Do you think a 72-hour film is inferior in quality to one that's taken a year or 2 years?
No, God, no. You look at some...
Isn't that interesting?
You look at some of the stuff that's coming out of Hollywood, especially the huge budget stuff.
Yeah.
It's just dreadful.
Because Kate, would you understand that some people might have thought initially when you made the decision that it was a bit of a compromise, and are you saying it's complete opposite of that?
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any compromise at all. No, none whatsoever. And it's enjoyable, because the downside of filmmaking is the amount of time that is wasted and the amount of time that you spend hanging around doing absolutely nothing, waiting for setups to be completed, and it's just insufferable. And I mean, we talked about this at the premiere last night, but the joke is that actors are quite happy to do the acting in a film for free. They're just delighted to be acting, but what you get paid for is the torture of hanging around doing absolutely nothing for 99% of the time. On this, we didn't do that. We just kept doing it, which was good. It was good. And it's no more or less exhausting than regular... All filmmaking is exhausting, however you do it. So in that regard, it's no different.
Did it help you as an actor that you don't have those times, that you have to sort of downtime, that you felt like you had more momentum in terms of your performance?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Where can we see this film?
We can see it again, hopefully, at other film festivals, and I mean, obviously we'll try and sell the film on, maybe even to television or, to a general release. So London, Berlin film festivals, that's where we're hoping to go next. Yeah.
And you guys have got a website that you feel free to plug it, that people can sort of keep up to date with what's going on?
Yeah, and all our sponsors and partners, we wouldn't have been able to do that without them, because it's still micro-budget, so it's 72hourmovie.com is the website, and people can check out all the Facebook links and the blogs and the vlogs that are there as well. So.
Would you do it again?
I would, if they'd have me.
Do it again, but on a bigger budget this time. There's kind of great benefit. A lot of Melbourneian volunteers participated on this film, and people who haven't had experience in feature films before participated. So it's great to give something, you know, to get them involved as well. I would do it again, but on a different budget this time. And
Kate.
my wife would second that too.
Yeah, I bet. Your dad was, of course, a legend of stage and screen, Peter O'Toole. Would he have been into this sort of thing?
Very much so, because he can't stand the waste of time and money that goes on in Hollywood. It drives him absolutely crazy. And he says that the more that money becomes a big consideration in the making of a film, the more it attracts people who aren't interested in it from a creative point of view. They're just interested in it from a financial point of view, and that is of detriment to the work, and he can't bear it. There's a lot of films he's had such miserable times on because he's surrounded by incompetence, you know, people who just don't know how to make films anymore. They're just there to make money.
Thank you.
You've revolutionised filmmaking. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, big thank you very much for coming in to Gary Hotjack, James Fair and Kate